Hello, welcome all. Greetings from SUGHYD. Today's session is on mobile application and personalization within XM Cloud, presented by Nelson Raj, hosted by Vishal and Yamini. Over to you, Nelson.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Um, okay, this is the first time I'm presenting in SUGHYD, but I'm really happy to be presenting here. Um, Let me share my screen. I hope everyone can see the screen,
Yep.
right? Okay. Um, so the main topic for this webinar is basically like we are using XM Cloud and also we are using the XP environment as well, right? So like we actually using website for communicating with the Sitecore. But in terms of mobile app, like how we gonna communicate with the mobile app and how we can personalize the user experience and how we gonna make sure that our mobile app is secure. Okay, so that is what we want to see here. Um, so let me go through the about myself. Yes. So this is myself. Like I'm Nelson, working as a senior solution architect at Horizontal Dubai. Um, I'm a Sitecore technology MVP. That's mostly about myself. Okay, the agenda for today's session is like first we'll go through the architecture, like how we actually implemented this into our existing client infrastructure as well. Like so, we also worked on some project like some of the architecture we actually using. So we'll see like the pros and cons of those things and the authentication, like how we can make sure our mobile app is so secure, like because we are trying to communicate with the Sitecore CMS, right? So how we gonna make the mobile app secure? And again, like we have to communicate with Sitecore XM Cloud to grab the content from. So how we gonna make sure that gonna accessible using GraphQL and dynamic content and personalization again, like basically like how we gonna personalize the user behavior and location based personalization, embedded based personalization. We look into all those things. Hello. Yeah, can you hear me,
Others,
right?
can you please be on mute? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Um, let's see the architectural diagram for the mobile that gonna communicate with our XM Cloud environment. So basically, like this is a very simplest architectural diagram, and it is very well working in production right now. So basically, like right now we actually using XM Cloud as our data provider. So all the mobile app which can be developed in any kind of technology, either it is Flutter or it is in MyUI using .NET, or you can use Xamarin or whatever the technology we are looking for. So end of the day, it needs the content, right? So how we gonna grab the content? So basically, we can try to grab the content from XM Cloud using GraphQL API. Okay, so why we are using GraphQL API? Again, there is some uh, discussion will be there because we having a item API, we are having a OData API as well. But again, why we are actually using GraphQL API? Okay, but the recommendation from Sitecore is GraphQL API is the right way to use it, and also it has a lot of feature in terms of like querying capabilities, like so we also reach out to Sitecore in before getting started this project, and Sitecore is provided a lot of updates to us, like um, previously when we get into this project, like we could see like some of the queries are not available, like you can't even compare date ranges and all those things, and like greater than, less than, or equal to, all those functionalities not there. So Sitecore actually provided all those information like new schema to us. um, so that's how we actually use GraphQL, and again we are actually using Experience Edge. Okay. um, here we see there is a webhook is available. So what is the purpose of webhook here is like whenever any content is published in from Sitecore, like if you wanna do any processing in terms of middleware. So middleware is the heart of our application. So the whichever the app like Flutter app or any mobile application which gonna communicate with the middleware, and the middleware in turn communicate with the Sitecore and process the data information that needs to be provided to the mobile application. Okay, so mobile app can't directly communicate with the Sitecore because like it needs a lot of processing need to be happen. So better we will move all the processing to the middleware. So middleware does all the job, and it will do like a lot of catching mechanisms and all those things like rate limiting and whatever the security process we can have it in the middleware. And finally, and it will provide the proper JSON formatted information to the mobile devices, so they will consume our API and they will load it into the mobile app. Okay, and so there's an APM basically like APM is where our API management, Azure API management. So basically like where we actually deployed our APIs, and it, from there only we are able to communicate for security purpose and maintenance purpose as well. And finally we have CDP and personalized. So once we have the data is ready, right? So any user who browsing our mobile application, right? So every pages will be tracked and all the data will be sent to the CDP. So again, how we gonna do that? Basically, the middleware actually providing some kind of browser API endpoint. So whenever we interacting with the first time when we interacting with the mobile devices, so they actually call the browser ID API, and based on that, the user will be created in CDP, and rest of all the tracking and events will be created based on that one. And again, personalized is there again based on behavior or different rules we created. Based on that, we actually providing the personalized content to the user. So this is the overall architecture of the mobile devices. So now comes to the authentication part. Okay, so authentication like in mobile devices, right now we need to authenticate the user. So we actually using OAuth to authentication using Azure AD B2C. Um, why we going to go with this authentication is basically like we don't want to handle anything internally, so better we'll go with some known vendor, which in that case like ADB2C is a proper way to handle this one. So whenever you try to log into our application, like by default Azure ADB2C can able to enable single sign-on with different vendors like Facebook, Apple ID, as well as your email address as well. So we will be able to log in with those credentials, and so once those credential has been, once the user is successfully logged in from ADBTC, it will in return provide you the JWT token. So that JWT token will be validated in your middleware application. So only one user can only able to get into able to access our Sitecore content or get into the middleware with the help of the JWT token. So that is that kind of a security also we can able to provide here. So again, as I told, like we have API level authentication, which is like APM. So when you deploy your API into APM, by default we can also have a security over there in APM as well. So APM is again it's a Azure, it is available in Azure. So basically it will have a OCP.apm subscription key. So basically with the help of this key only we can able to communicate with the endpoint. If this key is not available, we are not able to access the endpoints. So these endpoints can be passed as a header as well as a query string parameter as well. Okay, there are some custom parameters as well, like if you want to add any custom parameter to the Azure AD B2C, say for an example, like as a user you logged in, but you want to store any custom parameter that you will be using it for some other process, that again we can the middleware is actually storing those information to the ADB2C. So let me show you like how I like the code, how we actually created AD-B2C validations and these things. Yeah, let me quickly go through that. So this is the code base layer where we actually trying to create a Azure user. So when as a user, when you're trying to create a user here, so by default, this we actually using Graph API. So Microsoft Graph API, so which will be helpful for us to create a user in Azure. So basically, when at the time when the mobile app is trying to communicate, when try to sign in, mobile app. So mobile app will have an SDK. So sometimes we ourselves also middleware also gonna create some users, some different users. So if you want to create a user through the middleware, so using this Graph API, so we can able to create this one. So first, what are the parameters required is basically we need to have a tenant ID, a issuer, and there is one more important thing is like B2C tenant ID as well. So this all the information will be available in Azure AD B2C. I as of now I couldn't able to show the Azure B2C environment right now, but yeah, if you have a Azure B2C available environment, so where all the settings are available there, like tenant and all those things. So I have for sample purpose I can show you those information here. These are all some of the settings which is necessary for the application to work. So in order to create a user, access the user from Azure, validate the user, whether the user is already created in Azure, something like that. So using this information, we can able to validate this information. So this is the dummy information as of now. So instance is basically the domain, your Azure ADT BTC domain. This is a client ID and client secret, which is important for authentication purpose. A tenant ID again, and this is exactly the scope. So this scope is very important. Where exactly what is the scope? Whether we can read, write, or we can communicate with, on which way we can communicate with the ADBTC. This is very important in terms of uh, getting all the information from ADB2C. So this again, this information, this particular property will also available in ADB2C. So this all this if we have all this information, like we can be able to create a user and play with this user. So here I'm just going to just create a small user here, like right. So you could see like so basically I'm just validating here again on this method. So basically I'm trying to validate whether the user is already available or not or something like that. Once the user is there, I'm just trying to create the identities. Identities basically like um, uh, so as I told, like we have a different kinds of user we can create in Azure, which is let me show you a small example to that. So basically we have okay, this is again Microsoft portal. So basically if you can create a different types of user, either using email address as your user, just email address, or you can use your Facebook or SSO, right? Facebook or Apple ID or something like that. So everything has a sign-in parameter, issuer, and issuer ID. So sign-in is basically what exactly how we gonna create users, like either username based or email ID based or some federated authentication based. So this is exactly we are configuring all those information and we're gonna create the user. So again, like there is one thing, if you want to add any custom parameters or custom attributes, like we doing to do it in uh, CDP or anywhere, right? So we need to have some custom parameters out of the box, like ADBT has a few parameters, but we can customize it with more parameters. So you see, like we are actually having some custom parameters here, so which we created here. So by default, so in order to create the custom parameters, like we need to have this ADB2C, which is important. So based on that only we can able to create our custom parameters as well as to access the parameters as well. So your parameter format will be like this only. So this is how the parameters will be defined in Azure. So ADB2C, once you create any new property, it will be created as extension underscore your ID, and then the attribute name, whether is property name is place, designation, whatever the property you're gonna give. So this is how it will be created. So once we receive this information, and the middleware will authenticate and validate all the information and provide the relevant information to the user. Like this user is a valid user, then okay, we are good to go with um, retrieving the content from Sitecore XM Cloud. Okay, so this is how authentication is actually implemented. Okay, now why GraphQL in XM Cloud? So before going to here, like I'm just want to highlight one thing here. So as everyone aware of, like in Sitecore we have layouts, different types of devices as well, right? Like we have a JSON device, we have mobile device, we have desktop device. Most of us are already using only the desktop devices, right? So obviously when we are trying to develop a mobile device, mobile app, so we always think in terms of, okay, we can have some renderings into a mobile device. We can create a mobile device and we can have our renderings into the mobile devices, right? So we also tried a similar way, like we happily created a lot of renderings, especially for mobile, and we actually created a mobile device, and we actually placed all those renderings into the mobile device things. But obviously what the problem happened to us is, when we try to communicate using GraphQL to access this mobile device, is not possible at the moment. Sitecore is not supporting accessing the mobile devices. Okay, so by default only the desktop device is only possible using GraphQL query. So that is the challenge we had initially. So in case, like if anyone trying to develop a mobile app, so at the moment there is no option to, with the help of GraphQL, there is no option to communicate directly accessing the mobile device layout. Okay, so we have to go with the only option using desktop only. So okay, so with respect to desktop, like we have created a separate renderings and all those things with the separate placeholder settings. With the help of that one, we actually trying to communicate with the mobile thing. Yeah, let me show you some sample here. So initially I tried this one, but it's not working. So again, I tried right now. I'm actually using into the desktop layout only. So we have no other way as of now. So, but only thing is I just change the placeholder here. So instead of say like right now headless mobile, but you can still see headless main. Headless main is actually using for the desktop devices, but if, say for an example, the same page is used by the desktop and mobile devices, right? Um, so if you try to use headless main as your placeholder, then this data or this component is also visible into your website as well. So we for us, we don't want this component to be visible in the website. So we actually created a separate placeholder, so which will never gonna visible in your website. So with the help of this placeholder, our API or middleware will grab this content from this particular placeholder and process this information accordingly, and that will display to the user. Okay, it's the mobile device API endpoint. Okay, so that is what we actually trying out here. Okay, all right. So as I told before, like initially we faced some challenges with respect to like how to communicate, how to do search queries, and how to do like multiple where conditions, so like multiple if condition or condition and or. So yeah, you could see this example here in the screenshot. Like we actually um, um, able to do like filtrations. Like this is basically a filtration screenshot. Like we in the if you have any product page, say for example you have product page, you have multiple checkboxes, you can select multiple checkboxes, and whatever the checkbox you are trying to select there, it will translate in the mobile. The mobile will send this request to the middleware, and the middleware in turn create this kind of a query, this GraphQL query, and execute the GraphQL query against Edge environment, and then Edge will provide the response back to the middleware, and middleware will process the response in a format that mobile device needs to have. Okay, because we can't provide the entire layout service response to the mobile device, so we will be processing the response into proper component-based response, and that's something we will be giving to the mobile device. Okay, so this is exactly like what I'm trying to say, like the component-based layout response structure. So you could see in the screenshot we have like the first component, second component, third component here. So each and every component data will be provided through the middleware API in a different format. Again, this is up to individual project by project, like based on what way the response has to be defined. But again, end of the day, all the response will be coming from the GraphQL only, from the edge endpoint. So something the middleware has to process it here, and then it will need to be provided to the end user in a relevant format. Okay. Again, like we can have one challenges here, right? So in Sitecore, by default, like we can have any number of renderings over there, like in any order as well, right? But how the mobile devices can able to understand like what order I need to show, and like in Sitecore, like they had like 10 renderings, but I need to show only 5 renderings in the mobile app, right? So how I'm gonna do that? So all the information. So basically what we actually did is we actually created a request object. The request object will let me show the request object. So basically this is a basic request object. Okay, so this is our endpoint. This is a basic request object, like I'm talking about the screen name. So what do you mean by screen name here? Screen name is in mobile devices there is no pages. Basically it's kind of a screens, right? So screen A, screen B, screen C, like home page, contact us screen, or any different detail screen, right? So if in mobile, this is a request object. So if I say home as a screen name, and I will specifically asking like, hey, give me a English language data, okay? And again, latitude, longitude. Basically, the mobile will also pass the latitude, longitude for us. In terms, if you want to do a personalization based on your location or something like that, and you see the browser ID here, okay? As I told initially, like. We created one endpoint, which will, when we execute this endpoint by default, it will create our browser ID. This endpoint will be only triggered initially when the app loads. Okay, not every time the app loads, because every time when you call this API endpoint, it new browser ID will be created. So it should not be happen. So it should be run always one time, and then that should be going into your mobile cache somewhere. Then that same browser ID will be passed in all subsequent requests. So all the pages and everything will be tracked in CDP, and personalization will also be done based on this data we captured. So now, as you could see, like now this is how this one. So as you see, there's the screen name, but if you go to a different screen name, again there will be a different screen name will be available here. Okay. Now again, like you see, like I don't have specific any components here. Like in the home page we'll have like 5 to 10 components, but I don't have calling any data here. But this is the responsibility of the middleware has to provide all the necessary components in the JSON format to the API endpoint. So if I run this example, okay. That's a breakpoint. Let me hit the break. So you could see, like when I hit the example, like right now it is giving me a different components, component 1, component 2, something like. So as of now it's giving 2 components, right? So this component is called carousel slides, and this component is called headers. Okay, so some headers and waiting time. So yeah. So again, what all the components we actually defining inside code. So this API will does the API will call try to fetch a GraphQL query using the normal layout query only. So the normal layout query we will call like, hey, go and fetch the home item. Okay, because from our side we exactly know what you mean by this home node. Okay, this home is, so we actually configuring this home. So basically this home means some item ID in Sitecore or some path in Sitecore. Okay, so if you're using layout query, so we will be using the route path. If you're using item query, we will be using an item ID. Okay, so it will try to fetch the item from Sitecore, and once we get all the items, we will be getting all the information and processing. So let's see this example here. This is exactly that one. So basically, like you could see, like this is some of the places we are actually I'm configuring, like okay, what page is it? Okay, so okay, then get a proper information from whether it's an item query or it's a layout query. Basically, something that's even I'm trying to have a path here. So basically, like whenever any item available, so I exactly know what I need to target from Sitecore. Okay. So once use is done, like I'm explicitly trying to get the information from Sitecore using this out of the box GraphQL API endpoint. It's not out of the box, sorry, it's a API endpoint. So that I'm trying to grab the information from each endpoint. So so once we get the results here, so what I'm exactly trying to do is basically I'm trying to fetch the relevant information. Okay, go ahead, go to this particular path and look for the placeholder and look for the headless mobile placeholder and grab all the components from that location. Okay, so what that happens now this placeholder this particular variable will have all the placeholder items, like all the components available. So then once the component is available, then what we're going to do, we're going to drill down approach here. So let me show you the drill down approach here. So let me show some other examples. So I just okay, so let's go and see this example here. So example right now, in the previous screen, like we got the placeholder components, right? So now this is how the placeholder components. So this is the parameter which will pass it back to this particular method. So now what we're going to do, we loop individual components by components, and then we exactly know, like hey man, this particular home page will need this many components, like this many renderings, like heading or some different components, right? So we know. So what we are trying to do, we are actually trying to get all the components detail be one by one, and actually we are actually creating a full-fledged JSON. Okay, so that's how we actually trying to create an API endpoint with results, and that same results we will be providing back to the user. Okay, so this is how the processing is happening here. So basically we are trying to fetch the placeholder components and the placeholder and loop by one renderings, and then processing the information in the renderings. Then finally we actually are sending the response back to the client. Yeah. Yeah. The next thing is this one, like what do you mean by variant type, position, and CT action? Okay. Again, if you are coming from the mobile application world, so definitely we need to have, like, what do you mean by CTA action? So CTA action is basically like on in mobile devices on clicking something, right? So it means like something to be happen. Either it need to go navigate to a new page, or like say for an example, it will open a map view, or it will open some third party you like google.com in the mobile application as well, or it can able to navigate or call an API. Say for an example, in the screen, we could see like there is an ID available here, right? So basically this is basically like drop link in our application in Sitecore, where I'm especially know, okay, I'm clicking this particular link, this particular page has to be navigated. Okay, that means so here this ID is actually the sum of the different page link, or you can say ID. So now what will happen when I click this Google, sorry, not Google, let me go support. Okay, when I click on the support here in the screenshot, automatically this ID will be passed to an API endpoint. Okay, that will be like similar like this one. So like this one, this kind of a request will be passed, and this is exactly the ID, something like that. The ID will be passed to this particular API endpoint. So what will happen now, the new data request will be triggered and new results will be coming up here. Okay, so you could see the different results over there, right? Again, you could see the latitude and longitude by default they will passing to us. So again, browser ID, each and every request they will pass the browser ID, and by default all the trackings will be happening. So in case if they are not passing as an ID, okay, they want to pass it as a hyperlink or something, or external URL, and again it's a separate different properties over there. Based on the properties, our middleware will know. Okay, the mobile team also know, like if it's a different property, they will open a Google directly. So they click on Google, they will automatically open a Google. But if something they want to pass it to the middleware to get the information from, something like that, they will pass an endpoint, something like that. Okay, so here you could see like there's a feature research there. Again, this is kind of a view all, right? When they click that one, similar way they will pass some ID to us. Background with the middleware process all the information and retrieve the relevant information. Okay, that is the purpose of CT actions and ID attributes. Position is basically like, again, in Sitecore, we know we are ordering our renderings using up arrow and down arrow, right? But you think in terms of mobile app, right? How we gonna control the mobile app, which is not possible to control the mobile app, okay? Because we are mobile app is not tightly coupled with Sitecore renderings or something like that. So somehow we need to inform the mobile app, and okay, this rendering has to come in first place, this rendering has to come in second place. So somehow we need to give information to the mobile app, like, hey, like how the positioning will be. So that's something, again, we actually provided this position and variant type as well, right? um, we know, like, we actually using variant in Sitecore, right? Like we having a variant for rendering variants and all those things. So similarly, that the same variant concept is still applicable here in that one. If you create a rendering variant in Sitecore, the middleware will try to fetch the variant information using the GraphQL query and retrieve the relevant information, and then pass the relevant data to the mobile app. Okay, that's how these are all some of the informations, like how we actually created this response and everything. Yeah, this is some of the basic things like label configurations and images. Like everything is coming from XM Cloud only, like all the labels, first name, last name, as a configuration values and everything. So dictionaries and all those things. So we actually created some API to fetch all this information. So nothing is hard coded in mobile device. Everything is still rely on the API endpoint. Again, they will not do every time. They will, at one time shot, they will call it and catch it, and they will be using it accordingly in the mobile device. All right. So now we have seen like the architecture, like how we actually exposing the endpoints and communicating with mobile devices. Now in terms of personalization, right? So think an example like we need to personalize the page from XM Cloud without using Sitecore CDP and personalize, but I want to still personalize using the embedded personalization, which is out of the box provided, right? Um, so like in Sitecore, in Next.js application, we have personalized add-on available, so which will do our job, like trying to get the proper variant and to convert that the renderings on pages into the proper variant, which is actually provided by the personalizing, and based on that they provide the personalized page. But the same thing is not possible using the mobile application, right? So because when we try to use a GraphQL query, like say for an example, I want to personalize a home. Let me show one small example here. Let's try to personalize the support page here. Okay, so I want to personalize the support page. Okay, so I think I already have opened here. I think yes, it is open. Yeah. So let me say I want to personalize this particular page. Okay, so in that case, like when I try to use a GraphQL query, I will get the same data irrespective of the personalized. It will always give me the same data. It will not give me the personalized data, but yeah, personalized data will be shown only in the GraphQL in experience section. So there is experience section. Let me show that quickly. But again, one by one we will see that one. So So I want to personalize this content. So out of the box, I will go here and I will do my session expire. Very good. Okay. So I'm in support page right now. So I already so I can create my own variant here, right? And I can uh, create some variants out of here, right? So let me say let me create one variant here. Hope my spelling is correct. Okay. This is not using Sitecore's Sitecore CDP and personalized. This is using the lightweight CDP, sorry, lightweight personalized from Sitecore itself. Okay, so but here I'm trying to personalize this particular support page based on my location. Okay, so in terms of state, I'm coming from this particular state. Okay, so out of the box I don't have any state-based thing here. Like, so I actually created one custom state-based thing conditions. So creating condition is very easy. So I will show that one. So here I could say, like, I go ahead and look for Hyderabad. Yeah, I think we have Telangana here. I don't have Hyderabad here. Okay, let's see Telangana only. Okay, so I just created one. So by default now this will be created personalization entry into the lightweight personalized CD personalized software. Okay, so it's easy for us to create conditions using here. Let me go here. I think I already opened here. Okay, so this is exactly what the custom condition I created, which is you could see, like, this is a state in current visit. So this is exactly what I created. So we can easily able to duplicate it and we can create it here. So I see the same thing here, Andhra, Hyderabad, Goa, and everything here. Okay, so yeah. So I just copied from the out of the box country region and just customized using some common which for our requirement. So I created this one and I published it one. So once I publish, it will be accessible over there. So now I actually created that one in XM Cloud, right? So I created that one in XM Cloud. So let me show you that one again. Okay, now I created this one. Let me publish this one. Let's see whether this is reflecting in my Sitecore CDP or not. Okay, by default that should be reflected. Yeah, but again, for safe as I am trying to publish it. In the meantime, I will go to my here. So there is one option where we can see if we created any out of the box embedded personalization. All this should be coming up in this particular menu. So I think I'm working on support page only. So this is exactly I have created here, Hyderabad, right? So if I click this one again, it will take me to the same place. It's Telangana here. Okay. So right now this particular thing has been created, but again, now I have created this one for support page, but how I can use it for providing personalized experience in mobile devices, right? So again, now Hyderabad, I know. In order to do the personalization, I need to know from which state this guy is going to come. So that's where the latitude and longitude from the mobile device is really helpful for us. So if in terms of mobile devices, they're actually sharing us the latitude and longitude to us, right? So if you go ahead and see this particular request from the mobile devices, they're actually sharing me the latitude and longitude along with what exact screen name, which is support page, and again the ID and for the matching Sitecore field there. Okay, so when I try to send this information, okay, you could see that got stopped here. Okay, which is purposely have a breakpoint here. So you see there is a call flows API is getting called. Okay, so it's similar like how we actually calling our web experience, right? Using the normal personalized behavior. Similar way we can also call the embedded based personalization using call flows. Okay, so I'm just trying to call the embedded personalization friendly ID here. So let me show you the parameter here. So I'm just nothing here. I'm just passing your channel a client key friendly ID, which is this one. My POS browser ID. You see that's a browser ID. I'm passing it. Again, you see the parameter here. It's Kerala right now. I'm not even passed Kerala anywhere here, right? But based on this one, I'm using some third-party geolocation API to identify what state it belongs to. Basically, it will provide me the proper location. Right now, once this is executed, I will get some response. Okay, so what is the response basically? So you could see the response. I'm getting a variant ID here. So the variant ID is 2EA9 something, right? So this is something a variant ID. I will show you exactly like how the variant ID and the data comes into picture. So make sure that please make a note of this variant ID 2EA, right? So this variant ID is actually coming from this Sitecore here only. So this is basically matching this particular variant ID. Okay. So this is exactly it matched. So so now you could see like we don't have a personalized add-on here, right? So somehow I need to make sure, like, try to provide this personalized content only based on this variant. I need to grab the content again from GraphQL from XM Cloud. Hey, provide me only this personalized variant information to me, not the default information. Okay, I'm asking Sitecore, XM Cloud to give me the personalized information, not the default one. So there is one. In GraphQL, there is one property where we can get the what is it, personalized content, right, which is called experience. Okay, so you could see this experience here. This again, what I'm trying to do, let me show you something what exactly this one, right? So you see these components here. As I told, we actually fetching each and every components one by one, right? So this is like heading component, and this is like image title component, and this is like quick links come different components, right? Each and every component, again, I'm trying to fetch the GraphQL query using the placeholder paths and everything, right? So I'm getting all this information from there. But now I got my variant ID using Sitecore personalize. Now once I click this one, this we go to next line. You see here, I get this information from here because I just have only this variant ID. Okay, I have only the variant ID, but now I'm getting the personalized content here as hello Kerala or something, right? This is the personalized content which is coming back to me. Okay, but if let me go back to here, let me type 2 here. Okay, now this again going to call the same thing, but again this time it will be different ID, which is BBB. Last time you see 2E something, but no. So basically every time it is trying to match some variant based on this embedded personalization. So now you could see a different response here. So what this response is basically now it's out of Bangalore. So that is how we actually trying to personalize the content, as we don't have a personalized add-on here. But for the mobile team, they actually getting the proper data, whatever they're looking for, they properly getting the data. Again, this data is actually coming from Sitecore only, from GraphQL only. So let me show you the GraphQL query quickly. Okay, so this is exactly the query. Let me show you from where we actually getting the content from. Okay, as you see, like there is a headless mobile placeholder is there, and you see there is exactly a profile which is heading component, and you see the image title component. This is what exactly we are talking about right now. And you see there is one section called experience, and this experience section is not available in the above component, right? This is the heading component, but I don't see this experience is available. There is because I have personalized only the this component, like the image title component. I can show you that quickly here in Sitecore. If I go here, let me go to Kerala. What happened? Okay. Anyhow, something has happened, but still, let me, so here. But anyhow, that's it. So basically, we need to personalize this component. So like we need to add a component here and update the data source for the particular component. So I don't know, somehow it is not refreshing properly here. Yeah, but again, that's the point. Basically, if you add a component in the XM Cloud, and then that component, if you have created any audience or variant over there, audience, we call it as audience rule, right? So when you create an audience, only the experience thing, and you see there is a 2.8 something. This is exactly what I asked to remember. So it can show like hello Kerala here, and this content is actually coming from Sitecore, and this is the data source item basically. So you see this is the data source item here. So this data source item in Sitecore has this content, okay? And you could see the second item. This is one more data source. This will match some, there are a lot of things, okay? And you have one more Chennai, there are one different data source. And you see, this is where actually we're getting this information, Bangalore, right? This is exactly what we're getting. So the personalization will work in such a way like that. We are trying to access the GraphQL query and process the GraphQL query and provide the relevant information to the user based on different endpoint. Okay. So now that is how this particular embedded personalization we have implemented, and it's good. Now let me walk through like how we gonna do with location-based personalization. So again, location-based personalization basically like in which location you are Hyderabad, Bangalore, or something similar. Okay, in this case, it basically in previous thing is basically again with respect to location-based, but it's embedded based personalization. It is not using Sitecore CDP and personalized. Okay, now we are trying to use Sitecore CDP and personalized default. Okay, so now we'll try to use Sitecore CDP and personalized. So I'm trying to personalize homepage right now. Let's run the homepage. Okay, so again now you see here like. This is a home page. I'm trying to run a home page right now, but again here, like you can see, there is a location card. Again, this is some decision, some experience I have created. So that is actually using location cards. And again, we know like we are actually trying with the location based here. Again, we'll have some information here. And this is not an embedded based personalization. This is purely Sitecore CDP based personalization. Again, concept is similar. All the concept is similar. Like you could see like, okay, now, what is the response here? Okay, so what is trying to say here? Okay, so in Sitecore CDP, what I have did is in location-based personalization for this location, give me this offer. So example, like in Kerala, you need to provide me a dine as my category and provide me exactly the dine item ID. Okay, so if you pass different region code or region state code or something, it will give me a different offer. So I have created some offers in Sitecore, in CDP. Based on the condition, if the condition is met, it will provide me the relevant response. And based on the response, what I'm trying to do again, I'll call a Sitecore. Okay, so this is some of the query which it will generate the query dynamically for me. Like, hey, give me this information from Sitecore. See, like I'm using like a query with search options, which will try to grab all the content information. What are these all the relevant fields I need for the component which is needed, and I'm looking for all the relevant informations. And again, use this ID and all those things. This path is 96, right? Again, maybe you will be getting the 96 only here in this response. So it will exactly give me that response. And you see there is a dine object here, right? So end of the day, if you go here and see, and again, this is again coming from Kerala only. This is personalized for Kerala. and again now you'll be getting only dine content here. Or this is basically a carousel component, and you'll get all the component as dine, because my data source is dine, so it exactly fetch the data source in Sitecore through GraphQL, and again the process will be remain the same. So this, as you see, like it creates the GraphQL endpoint, calls the GraphQL, middleware will process the renderings and everything, and it will give the information back to the user. Okay, this is exactly how it will be. Okay. Mm. Now, similar way, there is one more thing which is again below in the health condition. You could see, like, again, this is again visit based. Okay, so what do you mean by visit based? Again, like as a user, you are visiting the same page multiple times again and again and again, right? So that means that page has to come in the first or something like that, right? That's basically a visit based. Again, it's similar like we have created uh, a experience in CDP personalized, and again based on that we will be evaluating the content, and we're loading it. So I can show you here what exactly the response for the visit based if I try to execute it for the same thing. Okay. Right. Okay. So you could see like it will give me the list of content recent visits. Okay. Um, so again, like it's dying because I actually browse the page multiple times through my API endpoint. So that's the reason like I'm getting this ID here. But if you're visiting any different pages based on your visit, so you'll be getting this information. This is not my endpoint. This is again a Sitecore call flows endpoint only. This information we will be using in our middleware, and again we will be dynamically creating you see like as you could see the same places here. This will generate this query will generally generate with all the list of IDs here. So basically we'll get all the list of IDs here and grab, and it will try to create one more query for GraphQL query, fetch it Sitecore details and everything from Sitecore, and again process it and send the response back to the user. So that is how you could see like all the informations over here. Yeah. So that's pretty much um, it. I'm trying to show. Um, these are again there's some screenshot like I just showed you, like this is the path how we can go there. But again, initially like in like couple of months back, there is no easy way to get into this embedded personalized lightweight thing. But again, recently now the new portal shows me directly to go there, like using the menu which is not available before, like I showed you before, right? Where is it? Yeah, now it's CDP. Okay, anyway, let me show this one to about this one. Okay. So as you could see, the location-based thing, right? So I actually created for the location-based thing, I actually created a decision model and this information from session and guest, user location-based programmable. So I'm trying to get the location. You see there is a params dot location here. So you could see my query here, my code here. Every time I will be passing here params location a state. Okay, so basically I'm trying to grab the information from the param subject. The params is matching, and then based on that I'm trying to do whatever the logic I want to do. Okay. Finally, like this is again actually created as I told, like for different countries, sorry, for different state, actually have predefined some kind of offers defined, like the template, the ID, the item and type. So again, these are some of the offers which I defined. So once once the uh, condition matched as Kerala, then a relevant offer will be given to me as a response, as a call flow response based on that. we will be calling an GraphQL API and fetch the relevant information from there. Okay. Let me show you. So yeah, I'm trying to say about this one, the XM Cloud experience, which is not initially possible to directly navigate here. We need to use that URL which I showed in the screenshot. Okay, but now I think it's a part of the portal. Like we can easily navigate to here, and we can see all the embedded based personalized which we created in XM Cloud. So basically, this one take us to default. Our internal thing, like directly for CDP personalized, but this one is for XM Cloud embedded personalization things. Okay, so whatever you do there, once you save that one, it automatically will reflect here. Okay, so that's how it will be. How many hours I have? 19 minutes. Okay. All right. We go to the slide again.
We are at time, so take up few questions, Nelson, if you
Yeah,
are done.
exactly. Yeah, that's it. Finished. Yeah, that's our last.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm coming to the last slide. Yeah.
No, no,
So
no,
yeah,
that's okay. I just wanted to tell you that we are at time.
yeah.
You still extend for 5 to 10 minutes, not a problem.
No, I thought I'm actually going very within half an hour. I don't think it's time crossed. Okay. Anyway, this is the last slide. This again I showed you, like this is how we actually created this location-based thing, like third visitor-based thing. Like you see this one, right? This I can show you in the Postman collection as well. Yeah. That's it. Any questions?
Guys, if you have any questions, please raise the hand. You're good to ask now. Any questions?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Nelson, that was a really very insightful session as well, because I think a lot of information, because yeah, it is not easy to develop a mobile application within using the desktop renderings and other things. I think this is a really unique use case scenario, and we did learn new things today, and also regarding the embedded and the normal the out of the box personalization as well. So I think that is really a great session. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, guys, if you do not have any queries, we are good to go then. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye.